DOGE is failing to come up with any kind of numbers that would really show a whole bunch of fraud or efficiency or anything like that. But Donald Trump is starting to realize he's in trouble. So he's trying to buy time by promising Americans that, hey, we're going to give you $5,000 each household. And how are we going to do that? With the savings that we got from DOGE. 20% is going to go to the American people. 20% is going to go to pay the debt. Of course, we don't know what happens to the next 60%, like the tax cuts. But here's the reality. The amount of money they're finding is chump change. Less than a half a cup of coffee at Starbucks per person in the United States. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the DOGE savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt.
I am sitting here frantically writing down these numbers because they don't add up to me. It is time for money power politics. Donald Trump and Elon Musk have both floated this idea of giving DOGE dividend checks to taxpayers using the money saved from its cost-cutting efforts. But a senior fellow at the conservative Manhattan Institute tells the Washington Post DOGE has reduced spending by $4 billion at most, far, far, far from Musk's $2 trillion goal. As she puts it, quote, the American people could possibly take their dividend to Starbucks for half off of one cup of coffee. Justin, explain this math to me. The Musk plan is to cut $2 trillion in federal spending, okay? The Trump team says it's going to deliver $5,000 per household. All of that's happening while Republicans are trying to pass a new budget that increases spending by $300 billion, and they want to have massive tax cuts for corporations. How is this possible?
This is what happens when a numeracy hits ambition. So just before coming on the show, I went to the DOGE website where they show line by line every one of their savings. It adds up to $7.3 billion. Which sounds like a lot, but remember there are 340 million Americans. So far, DOGE's savings add up to $21.47 per American. The president is proposing that 20% of the money DOGE saves goes out as a dividend check. So, Stephanie, you and each of your viewers is going to get $4.29 in a DOGE dividend. And this is what happens when you don't understand that you're looking in the wrong places for the big money.
Okay, but Brian, even if they found a ton of money to cut, right? Even if the money to the American people was a lot more than $5,000, here's what I don't understand. The point of DOGE is to pay down our debt. Right? We currently have $36 trillion in debt in this country. And the fact that they would be willing, theoretically, to take 20% of the DOGE savings and send it out to the American people as checks, isn't that just one big political hustle? Because Donald Trump knows how popular it was when those stimulus checks with his name on it got sent around. And we should remind our audience those stimulus checks were approved not via executive order. Congress did it.
It is. And I think it speaks to, I'll leave the economics of it to Justin, but it seems like so much of this is for show and so much of it is PR and so much of it is just making it seem like you're doing something. And let's remember, too, a lot of the savings that they are showing and they're emphasizing, that's just thousands of federal workers who are out of a job now for no reason other than that they had just started their job within the last 2 years or just gotten promoted recently. It's built on the backs of massive layoffs of people who are working on bettering Americans' position in science, in humanitarian aid, and protecting people from fraud. If you were really serious about paying down the deficit, you probably wouldn't fire thousands of IRS workers whose job is to increase revenue. That's why they are there. So all of this seems deeply cynical and sort of speaks to the larger emptiness of the whole DOGE project.
A reminder, I just told our audience last night when the Inflation Reduction Act designated additional money to the IRS, what did that result in? The IRS bringing in more money from taxpayers. Justin, I want to get your take also on Trump's newly confirmed Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, telling Fox News that his goal is to abolish the IRS completely. And where are we going to find the money? Well, massive tariffs. The rest of them will pay for us.
Well, the problem with that is it's quite simply impossible. The amount of money that we have that we could tax for a tariff is the amount of imports. That's only $3 trillion. When we tax income, we've got $20 trillion to tax. So if you're trying to tax from such a small pool, there's not that much you can get. You can't fund the modern US government purely with tariffs. It's one, literally mathematically impossible, and two, incredibly bad for the working and middle class Americans. But by jingo, it's a huge tax break to the rich.
The new acting head of Social Security made an announcement today after Elon Musk and Donald Trump claimed that millions of dead Americans were receiving Social Security benefits. Well, the new guy overseeing Social Security said that's not really happening. So there you go. Fact check from their own team. The worry is that lie has already made it around the world multiple times. So we'll have to tell the truth every night.
So once again, Donald Trump is making the assumption that the people who follow him do not have a whole lot of stairs, will not do any research, are not all that smart, that they can sit back and believe, one, that he cares about them, two, that he's going to give them some sort of check like we did during the pandemic, and three, that somehow doing all of this, he'll be able to give tax cuts and at the same time let the budget deficit fall. It's impossible. The guy's a charlatan just trying to buy time right now, and we need to call him out for it. And those of you MAGA folks that are following this guy is taking us down the drain. Again, it's you who are the pawns in his game. He doesn't give a hoot about you.